Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Timonium, the Maryland State Fair. It's time for the Big T today, where we roll over the racing program and hopefully cultivate some winners for you for this afternoon's program at Timonium. I'm Dave Rodman. Stan Salter off today, but he'll be back tomorrow. Alongside me, my co-host Jackie Savoy, who's been along with Stan in the afternoon, is doing a great job here at Timonium, picking some winners and giving us some insights in the program. Welcome today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not many winners like you and Stan, but I'm learning.
About that.
It's really hard to handicap here.
Yes.
I was just talking to you earlier about it, and I'm just not having an easy time trying to beat the chalk here.
Yeah, and yesterday a few winners, but not a lot of big prices.
No.
But you've got to grab that speed at 4 furlongs, a half-mile horses, switching barns. It's a little bit more of a tough test than people think it is handicapping here at Timonium. But I know I like the program today, just like yesterday. Did have a few. So we got a late pick 4 ticket for you. I have a late pick 4. You have an early pick 4 today. So we got 2 of the 3 pick 4s covered. We got the early, the middle, and the late. And the track is listed right now as muddy after all of that rain yesterday, the remnants of Harvey pushing through the mid-Atlantic region. But some clearing skies here, partly cloudy, almost sunny right now, and it's a beautiful day. Yesterday it was chilly, 70 right now, high going to 75 today.
I was wearing a jacket yesterday, and I'm in a tank top today.
Right, unbelievable.
Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic.
And tomorrow will be perfect, 82
yes,
tomorrow
it's gonna be
for
gorgeous.
the high, right?
Oh, it's going to be big crowds tomorrow, I hope.
How about yesterday, J.D. Acosta?
Very nice card for him yesterday.
4 wins. He got shut out the day before, but yesterday rebounds and rolls home with Chavou, put it forward, brought Expanse and Iced Tea.
Well, he's hooking up with Paul Plymire. He came back as an agent, and they are just taking off together and doing so well.
Yeah, Paulie and JD have a good rapport together. And Howard Wolfendale winning the final race yesterday on his 61st birthday. That's a great birthday present for Howard yesterday with brother Slick Nick and a big last to first move after a big duel up front.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they're going to carry it over today. He's got one here in the earlier races that I really like. One of my top picks. So
extra piece of cake for Howard on the birthday.
Oh, I'm assuming.
Or extra course light. We're
yeah,
not sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say he'll probably be in here today.
Remember that horse he had, course light?
Yeah,
right? And Kieran McGee and Wayne Potts and Claudio Gonzalez and Richard Silliman neck and neck and neck and nose and nose and nose with 3 wins apiece coming into today's program, all going for that bonus here at the Timonium.
They are running their barns here in the next couple days, so. We'll see. It's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah, only 2 racing days left today and tomorrow. So it's quite a competitive training title here at the Big T. All right, Jackie, I think we covered what happened yesterday. I know with this muddy track, you handicapped for a muddy track. I thought maybe it would be good by now, but I think it's going to dry out a little bit later today. But it doesn't change the picks very much in today's card. Let's get right to the action.
Let's do it.
Okay, first race is at 1 mile and 1/16. Number 4 at Knutsford Park. Luis Rodriguez aboard. How do you see the opener here? I mean, I've got a reason to pick the 2. You've got the 2 on top. And my reason is simple, the old LLOL angle, lone lick of life. I think this horse will be on the lead by himself.
Yes, I agree. I was trying to see if anybody would go with him today, and I agree as well. He's going to be by himself in the front. Kim Gracie, I think she's a phenomenal trainer. She does really well at Penn, taking this horse here today. Good angle. This horse won in the slop at Penn. That's where we're going to go with early race. I'm sure we're going to still have a sloppy track by then.
5 of 9 lifetime on the wet. I didn't see that until you just mentioned it, so it makes me like that runner even better. Maybe single that horse or at least use this horse as a key in the double and get something in the second race. You can make a nice double too.
Right.
Okay, and one horse in there, 79er. Well, this is kind of the second back for 79er in Annette Eubanks. Only beaten 2 lengths, but in a sprint now stretching back out.
And that's what I took into consideration. This horse's form is much better going long, and that's what I liked about him. I had this horse, I think, as my top horse last week, and like you said, didn't run bad. 2 lengths sprinting. They were all kind of right there.
Well, that's the layoff stat for Annette Eubanks is not the greatest with that long layoff from December to August. So I think he's going to be a little bit more fit here second time from the barn. We both have the 6 Tempietto in here from the Corrales barn. A little pinch early at a mile and a 16th, kind of lost a little bit of ground, compromised because it's pinched back early in the game. Second run here at the Big T meet in the 2-week meet in the 7-day session.
Yeah, and that horse hadn't run since July previously, and as we're using that angle with the one horse, I think this is another angle to use. He's going to be a little bit tighter going into it. I think he needed the race, likes to make that one run. Maybe he will run down our city's barometer.
I don't know. I mean, I just see him as a lone speed in here,
Yeah.
and so do you. So, so we both like the 2 cities barometer. Apparently, the public guy doesn't agree with our picks because the 1 is now the 3-2 favorite.
I know,
That's
I see
early
that.
in the game.
But we do have
Yeah.
this horse as our top. But
Yeah.
as always, I'm trying to beat them, so you never know.
All right, let's go on to race 2. It's a half-mile claimer here, and Just Fun in You was going to be my top pick, but
Me
I'm
too.
just as happy he's out. She's out. Just Fun in You, and so is the 5. Lucky 8, but I'm really just as happy with 1A Pop of Color because of the fact that, well, this mare has had previous speed here on the Timonium dirt and
Yes, yep.
dazzling speed as well.
Yep, and that's what I took into consideration because I had the 1 as well. I really loved this horse today. I thought maybe they would scratch Pop of Color instead. But I did see that last year. This horse ran really well. Speed only was beaten 2 lengths last start, so
Yeah.
you have to go with him.
Yeah, I'm just going on the past and what she's done here. She's very quick out of the gate. Here's your early pick 4 ticket, Jackie.
Oh, good.
And it does have your top selection, my top selection in here, Pop of Color. But you've got a pretty deep ticket, a $48 early pick 4 ticket, so it looks like some wide open races coming up.
Well, and I think it was more expensive before because we had some scratches, and I took that into consideration. But you know, these maiden races that are coming up as well, they can be hard to handicap first-time starters. I wanted to go a little bit deep, especially in race 3 and 4 as well. So I have race 2, 1A, 4, 6, race 3, 2, 6, 4, 3, race 4, 5, 1, 2, 4, race 5, 3, and 6.
And the pick 4, you can play that for the 50-cent increment, of course. All right, number 4 on your ticket is Poco Loco. And I thought she'd kind of get a sniff of the early lead last time out, but just wasn't. It wasn't there, her early speed. She's a very, very quick horse. I mean, I've seen her run at Laurel.
Exactly.
And so she kind of came from off of it to finish 3rd and got the willing comment after angling down to the inside during the stretch run last week.
And 4 furlongs, it's not much time. So I think she's going to be a little sharper, having already run here last week, knowing what's going on, going the 4 furlongs. And you have to take a look at her form here again. She's had 2 wins out of 4 on the wet start, had a 3rd. So I think she's going to like the going today.
Yeah, she's crazy with speed,
Yeah.
Poco Loco.
Well, and Willie did say he liked his horse today. Well, he has got a couple in, so now I feel bad about which one it might be. But I like this horse, so I'm assuming he's going with Poco Loco.
I assume we're looking at the trainer change angle here on Picky Bits. Joan Reynolds, first time out for Picky Bits, off a good trainer, Patricia Faro at Penn National. But she's had early speed, and not at this exact distance at that half-mile sprint, mostly at 3/4 of a mile up at Penn National against open $5,000 claimers.
Right, and Joan's very good. Joan does a really good job with these sprint type horses.
Yeah, she gets a lot of speed into the horses.
Exactly.
For
Well,
sure.
she has that angle of the farm and the racetrack at Charlestown, so she can train them a little bit to her advantage. You know, they can go on the wheel. They're a little fresh. She does a very nice job. She does a great job. I have to pick Joan whenever she comes.
Well, we've got the same horses, kind of in a different order. You're, I guess, looking for that redeemed speed from Poco Loco as she had at Laurel, and I know Pop of Color has had past speed here in the 2nd race. Same idea, a little bit different order in race 2, and you got Jackie's pick 4 ticket to start off our early pick 4 in race number 2. 3rd race, no changes in the 3rd, Jackie, and I went to the outside here, Noble Nation for Ferris Allen. Which way did you go? 3rd race, the 2, Wedgwood Blue.
I went with Wedgwood Blue. John Salzman Jr., he's very good with these these maidens and these types of sprints, but this is another 4 furlongs. I have such a hard time with them trying to see who's going to be the early speed here. And I think I had, I did have some notes on Ferris, but I didn't have him picked. But I really think Wedgwood Blue is going to be out in front. I mean, she ran here last Saturday against Canor, who that she was the favorite that race. I think she's going to be chasing Pompano, though, to be honest.
Well, I like the fact that she had a bit of a different dimension last week, and she came from off the pace. Looking at her running lines, it looks like she didn't have a whole lot of follow-through, either 5.5 or 6, but maybe just likes the big T here and can sit off of some speed. I think the speed really is going to be on the outside here with Noble Nation coming off of far outside gate at Laurel. Had some really good early speed, good internal middle fractions there. I know Wedgwood Blue beat her that day, but look at the speed, the gas that she had there for a half mile before fading off the scene. She's out in the clear today. The Cal Nation filly on the outside.
And
Noble Nation.
We both had Pompano pick second here, and that's who I really thought might be the early speed. And I thought the better post position here for this Hugh McMahon horse, and he does so good with these maiden claimer, 17%. But I will have to say, she is going to scoot. She's going to have to scoot along for this 4 furlongs.
Mama's speed and fast fractions there don't always translate here to the big T, but I will say that she's comes out of good races and drops down this afternoon. And the last race, July 22nd at Monmouth, has already produced a winner. The runner-up there, Ebony Ball, came back to break maiden in her next start.
Yeah, and that's what I took into consideration. They were New Jersey bred state-bred races.
They were restricted to Jersey breds.
Exactly, but that's still she's taking the major class relief here to maiden 10. I think this is a better spot for her here.
Any other ideas here in the third race? I mean, first time we've kind of disagreed on the selections so far today.
Sort of. I mean, we maybe not in the same order, but the 4 horse here, My Sweet Autumn, Patrick McGill horse. I thought this horse might have a little bit of speed. Another one coming in off of a little bit of a drop here from 16 down to the 10. Was only beaten 2 lengths out. I mean, last start. I think watching her replay, this horse switched very late. So if she can be a little more game and switch at the top of the lane instead of maybe 2 jumps before the wire, she's going to be a little sharper.
Switch leads.
Yeah, switch leads. I'm sorry. Yep.
Okay. So Patrick McGill with the winner yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Let's go to the 4th race on the program, and here we go. The mishmash of some first-time starters and horses with a few credentials. And I went with the filly that's already had some credentials and some runs and had a run last week at Timonium, and that is Prank Call. Jackie's going to the 5 here. Caledonia from the Hugh McMahon barn. Second run for this filly, and she's coming off of a 5-ace trip at Laurel, where she was very, very game there with a little bit of a wide trip.
Very game, showed a little bit of speed, maybe not as fast for, luckily we're not going for furlongs for this race. So I think she is going to like to stretch out. Said she pressed 2 to 3 wide, and she had, she rebid, was game and willing. That means she wanted to go on. She gets J.D. Acosta aboard today. I think that's a huge angle.
Well, I mean, with 4 wins yesterday, no doubt he knows how to ride the bull ring track here at Timonium. I went to the outside here in Prank Call, dialed in filly. The little bit of concern I have about her is I think she wants to go a little bit longer than a half mile. 6 furlongs. That was her first time with Lasix in her last run here. And boy, she did show improvement against Maiden Special Weight Company, beaten only 3 lengths behind a filly named Her Cat Will Fool You, who finished second in her debut down at Laurel behind a decent filly in and of herself. So I'm a little concerned that a half mile is short for her, but I think the difference today is she's out in the clear on the outside. Last time out, she had that inside gate going 4.5 furlongs and had to make a hot pursuit. Today, she can roll up on the outside.
I think, this race is the 6.5.
I'm sorry,
yep.
it is 6.5.
No, it's funny because Anthony really liked this horse last time, and so I think I had this horse picked, and she was a little disappointing to me, but Not completely. I actually think this horse is better going the 4 furlongs, maybe a little longer, but I don't know how this horse is going to handle the 6.5.
Yeah,
Taking a little bit of a class relief, that's going to help the
I
situation.
I forgot to turn
I
my
know
page.
you're looking at this, but
I'm
you
looking at the
have a 4
program and
furlongs.
realize, but I did have the note.
Yeah.
That the reason I said right there on the screen, you can see it. We'll do better at 6 to 6.5 dirt type sprints,
Right.
especially the dialed ins. They like to go a little bit longer. So
right.
that was the reason I went with her. The inside, you got Flying Phillips in there from Jamie Nussbaum, getting Lasix for the first time for the Gumster stable in Jagger, which is Ness's operation.
Exactly what I love the angle of the Lasix first time out. I think if you're going to play the game here, you've got to be on the same level as everyone. She was great first time out watching that race. Then she was rushed up and ridden the whole way and just kind of faded. She ran a better race last time, was beaten 7 lengths, so that horse was much the better horse.
Ness had the win already this meet,
yeah.
and Ness is in the house too. I like when he's in
here.
town.
That
yeah,
means
he was.
something.
Yeah,
that
to me,
means something.
I don't know. I like to see him saddle his own horse. You know, he's got horses all over the Mid-Atlantic, but he came in personally to saddle that winner the other day. So we'll see.
And he must like, if he's here, he must like the horse, and he's putting the horse on the race.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's to me are some things to take note of.
What about this first-time starter from the Ham Smith barn, Red Hot Poker, Street Hero? The mare's pretty good, selective by
Right.
Tappet.
Most of her foals have won sprinting. I've noticed that. I was reading that this morning. She's the winner of over $100,000 sprinting. So this horse comes out of a nice dam. I like the work tab. He's been consistent. 4 furlongs, breeze 5.8 here on the 17th. So Hammy's pretty good with these first-time starters, and he's going to have the horse ready and fit.
Yeah, and you mentioned that pedigree. I mean, you look back in that family.
Yeah.
The Dams produced a lot of dirt sprint type winners. So there's a history there that perhaps this filly can run and win first time out, Red Hot Poker. So that's a common pick in there. And we also got the 5 Caledonia. That was your top pick as well. So that's the 4th race. Let's go on to the 5th. 4th race, by the way, starts our middle pick 4, races 4 through 7. The 5th race, Jackie, we've got note on number 6, Joel Senorita did not wear blinkers last out, but will have a change of equipment, blinkers on today. That's a program change. Number 2, Socially Driven, a jockey change to Carlos Carrasco. How about this race here, the 5th? And I guess our hunch play would be called in sick for our man Stanton Salter
I know.
today.
I was so excited to actually say that because
Yeah?
I hope he's watching right now
Yeah,
too.
I'm
So
sure he is.
I'm definitely going to put 10 across the board on this horse.
Okay.
Just for a hunch play for Stan not being here.
She was
he's
my
sick.
top pick, and I really got more. Tell me something about who's going to be on the lead here. I'm a little bit confused. It's kind of a muddled picture for me. I've switched my top pick 3 times, and hopefully I wound up on the right one, which is the 4, Attempting to Love. I was respect Dirty Laundry's win last week here at Timonium. She's pretty quick, and that was a visually impressive run here at the Big T for her first time over the trip here at the track.
Oh, well, this horse is fast. She's quick out of the gate. She shows speed, holds speed. It's going to be the 5th race at that point. This horse won on a sloppy track at Pimlico this past spring.
Mm-hmm.
So take into consideration the track as we're going, if it's sloppy or if it's going to start to be fast. But I like this horse playing it on a sloppy track right now. And she won impressively last start. So
Yep. She's done it on the fast. She's done it on the slop. She'd probably do it on a good track. I mean, there's no doubt she's got a high degree of early speed. I just think that maybe here that called in sick will show some of her old back speed, and Joel Senorita, who was not on the lead with Dirty Laundry last time out, will come back to some of that Tampa Bay early lick here at Timonium and maybe press just a little bit, setting it up for maybe attempting to Love, who has enough gas to stay close to the pace, comes out of some strong races, including a double key race at Laurel back on the 1st of July.
Right.
Going at 4.5 at Charlestown, not a bad effort either. Did not keep pace early with a 21 and 4 and 45 and 1/2 mile, but did close the gap late. So I think she'll be close enough, maybe not 6 lengths off the pace today of Dirty Laundry and perhaps some others.
I do like this attempting Love, but I took into consideration that she ran well in that beaten 10 at Laurel, only getting beaten 5 lengths, but this horse was running in state bred allowances. So West Virginia, it's easier company, I think, than what she's going against today. But I loved my Joel Senorita for my second pick, and I had this horse last out. And in my program, it didn't say that she had blinkers the previous start, but I'm loving the blinkers on angle today for the 4 furlongs. This horse had really nice form in Tampa over the last winter.
Yeah.
I like this horse last out. I think 4 furlongs is more her style. Outside post.
We were just discussing that announcement, and I noticed on my printout I did have the blinkers on her. So you did.
Okay.
So
okay.
it depends on which form. If you did print that daily racing form, it may have had blinkers or not blinkers, but bottom line is it will be blinkers on today for
yep.
Joel's Senorita
Regardless.
in the 5th race. So that is a change of equipment. So there you go. So maybe that'll put that gas back into her
Right.
and heat her up on that opening quarter mile. All right, the 6th race, scratch the 1, St. Peter's Bard, the 7, Enduring Warrior, and the 9, Buzzworthy, and we're going 6.5 furlongs in that 6th of the day, and that'll start our final 50-cent pick 4 races 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I have a pick 4 ticket, Jackie, and I'm going to single in the 8th and featured race of the day, El Singolo on Transparent. And I know he's going to be favorite, but I don't think we're going to get 9 to 5 in there because North Ocean and 10 Hut are scratched.
Yes.
So I just see him as a superior horse in there at this time in the game. We'll talk about double whammy in a bit. And then build the ticket around that single Transparent in the Bobby Hale purse, the 8th of the day. So I went 3, 4, and 10 in the first leg here. And my top 2 picks are 3, Wondering Ways, and 4, Irish Handcuffs. Claudio Gonzalez, here we go. He's got 3 wins at the meet, and McGee, Potts, and Silliman, they're all there. Gonzalez picking up where he left off with that red-hot Laurel meet. His horses have been firing on all cylinders, and you agree this is the second time in Gonzalez barn. Were you as impressed with that favorite roll of 20 cents to $1, drubbing a lesser company from Maiden 5 as I was?
I was super impressed, but I wasn't shocked by
Okay,
any means.
all
Number
right.
1, Claudio's really strong trainer, really good. This horse is coming off of a huge class relief.
And Radar Gun, he came back to win yesterday,
Yes,
right?
he did, yep.
So there you go, another winner out of that race. Just notice that. Circle that winner in the running line of Wondering Ways. So we got the same top 2 picks.
We do.
Irish Handcuffs. I think what you get every time from this horse. He's not going to have a lot of early speed. He's going to close late. Is the pace sufficient enough for him to win it or get a piece of it?
I took into consideration. I like this horse. I like him a lot. I have him second, but I also did the sloppy angle again, sloppy track angle. I think he's going to really like the 6.5 here at the Big T. This will be his first start here. Looking back at his start in July, those horses that came out of that race that he beat, Iron Bank came back to win. He ran 3rd to Adversary here, but Adversary ran 3rd in a starter against Vim. That was a really tough starter. It was a good race.
Both his last 2 efforts, I think he just ran into a little better horses
Right.
there, Adversary. And the Iron Bank, that was a great time for non-winners at 2, 111 flat, all things considered. But again, both times he's double digits behind. That's
Right.
a tough task to overcome here at Timonium.
That's true. It is, and that is. But he does have. It's luckily not a 4 furlong race, and it would be a really big problem.
It would definitely.
But so I think he might have a little bit of room. As he's just got to be a little closer. That's That's most important today. Get him out of the gate, get a good position.
Yeah,
That's always important.
Bluegrass Rye will certainly have forward position. He had good speed from post 9, almost took the field gate to wire and lost that photo at 37-1 in his first run at the Big T. So with Buzzworthy scratch and during Warrior scratch, moves in a couple of spots, and I think he'll be right on the engine again today. I don't think Delta Force is fast enough to run with him early down to the inside, and I don't know.
You don't have Delta Force today. Didn't you have Delta Force last week?
I did,
Yeah.
and there's a reason I'm not picking him today.
Why?
I just didn't like his last race.
I know.
Put it to you that way.
Well, and
yeah.
I thought I have a hard time picking these poly horses to come in without having a breeze. They're once they get used to running on that poly, they love it.
Maybe he'll run with his head level today.
I'm
Because
hoping.
his head was a little high last time out, the high-headed action, even though he was on the lead. Maybe a little shadow roll something, a little change, subtle change in the blinkers. I don't know, but I just really disappointed in his last race, and I don't think he's as fast maybe as Bluegrass Rye, or at least Bluegrass Rye will try to test him today.
I had Bluegrass Rye. I should have the 10. It should almost be the same as you, 3, 4, 10. I do have Bluegrass Rye. The reason I had to throw Delta Force in there because a couple of my top picks were out. The one St. Bart's is out, and
so you moved him up a little bit.
Yeah, and during Warrior, so I picked him over some of the others. But I do like the Bluegrass Rye. I think he liked to cut back in distance a lot, and he's wheeling back in 8 days, so he's gonna be fit and ready to go.
Yeah, we see a lot of horses that run last weekend come back to run this weekend. That's for sure. And this is another one here from the Boniface barn on the far outside. So Jackie and I agree there, 3 and 4. Let's go to the 7th race, another 6.5 furlong run here around 2 turns at Timonium. And that's our final pick 3 on this Sunday card here at the Big T. You know, I think Fleet Flame will run a little better this time, hoping the track will dry out, because she sure hated the slop last time out. But inevitably, I went to the Claudio Gonzalez outside runner. That's hashtag selfie. This filly opened up a huge lead at 1 1/16 at Laurel in slow fractions, but a big lead there. And Victor Carrasco almost had a time to take out a cell phone and take a selfie of himself and the others behind the rest of the field. That's how far in front she was, so hashtag selfie. Then they came back, run her on the turf at Laurel, and she ran okay. I mean, I thought she had a little shot that day, so I really like her last 2 races here. I think she can shorten up and sharpen up to 6.5 furlongs after 2 route runs at Laurel Turf and Dirt.
Yeah, and they always seem to show that. I mean, she did win first off the claim with Claudio going a route of ground. She does have a bullet work coming into this race, maybe to tighten her up a little bit. So I think like you said, she's gonna be sharp and tight.
That's a good point. You know, coming from the dirt route, the turf distance race, finishing 3rd, and probably a company is a little tough for her. Coming back with a bullet work indicates maybe that she's going to have some good speed this afternoon.
I agree.
Yeah.
And obviously she tried the turf and didn't like it, but makes me think she must be bred for the turf for them to try her first time on the turf and turf again going route of ground. But I think
speaking of opening a big lead, keep your distance, boy. She looked like she had the race sewed up last time out, didn't she?
I know, and I have keep your distance pick 2nd. I mean, taking the drop after a good effort last out.
Turf to dirt.
Yep, turf to dirt. I think this horse is going to be essential, especially with Kieran. I mean,
it's
fighting
tough
for
to leave out
leading
Kieran.
Trainer.
Yeah.
Got Gerald Almodovar. I have a hard time saying his name.
Almodovar.
Almodovar.
There you go.
Almodovar. So I think, Kieran's really good with these turf to dirt horses, 22%, route to sprint, 25%.
I was counting more of a good to fast track, but right now we're listed as muddy. But I put Fleet Flame in there, but she obviously did not pick up her fleet feet. She wasn't such a fleet-footed filly last time out on the slop. I mean, she's not dropping in here in for a tag today. So, I mean, I just think you've got to draw a line through her last race where she just simply did not handle that gooey going at Laurel, and maybe coming back to better footing this afternoon by the time we reach the 7th on the program.
Yeah, and last start she also did have a rough trip. 5 wide between at the 5/8. She was tired. I watched the race. She looked like really sharp, and she was wide, and it just just looked like he wasn't settled in that race. So maybe between the slop and being a little sharp and rank, she's going to come into this a little more.
Just because a horse, I guess, let me ask you this question as a trainer. I mean, just because a horse doesn't really like a sloppy track, one kind of sloppy track at a certain track, doesn't mean that they're going to run that as poorly next time out on another muddy to good track, another surface. I mean, there's different types of slop or mud, and we don't know. I mean,
and by the 7th, we don't know what this track is going to do, especially if it keeps being sunny and dry and nice out here. We might have a decent track.
I got a feeling the Harrows will be out by that
I
race.
agree. So
let's get to the 8th race. Our feature of the day is the Bobby Hill Purse, Scratch 2 North Ocean 410 Hut. It's my single, Jackie, in the late pick 4, a number 7 Transparent, who's in super sharp form right now, having won 2 of his last 3 and second on the slop last time out. But that race at Parks from July 15th, that starter allowance race, well, would run circles around this field unless Double Whammy shows up one more time.
Double Whammy is my heart horse. I get to watch that horse train every day. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's beautiful. Mary does a great job with him. She takes very good care of him. He's an older class war horse. But I love this race today, and I'm really disappointed with the scratches. I had 10 Hut. I had North Ocean in my pick, so I had to rearrange. Transparent, I had 10 Hut on top. Transparent pick second. Now he's my top pick. There's nothing to not like about him. You look at some of the horses he's run against. Great Lou, he ran second to that, who was the favorite in that race. When that horse gets the lead, it's hard to mill him down. He's pretty fast going that 6 furlongs.
Except the other day when I played him. He came to a screeching halt. I just have to let you know that.
Of course. Okay.
Right.
Well, then maybe don't play that horse. Maybe that's
no, he's a sharp speed horse right now. I guess the only thing is maybe he won't like Timonium Transparent. That's
you never know.
That's it. But then again, Double Whammy's never been here at the Big T before.
And
but
he's a big horse.
Certainly comes out of a superior, like, class-wise race at Saratoga. When you're up against $40,000 claimers, it's a spa. But even that, prior to that, he was a little bit off form toward the end of spring for Mary Epler. But we've seen Double Whammy with some solid wins. He's won 9 of 36 lifetime.
He's such a great horse. Wait till you get a view of him in the paddock. He's a big, beautiful, all jet black horse, a little white. You know, I'm going to throw the Parks race out. He was really sharp the first quarter of a mile, and then Karamanos is just kind of wrapping up on him, and the times I think this horse likes to make one big run most of the time. Sit a little closer, but not too far out of it, but not too close. I think that Saratoga race he actually ran okay, but I mean those are the best horses in the country at this time. So he's loving the Maryland circuit. He's done very well here in the Pimlico Laurel meets. So I think if he can get around these tight turns, he's a big horse. He's going to be sharp.
So your picks in the 8th are which?
Oh, I had to.
We're on the 7th here on the graphics.
Okay.
No, the graphics are on the 7th. Yeah, we're on the 8th.
Okay,
guys.
But we're on the 8th. Okay, that's
Can
who
we
we're
get
talking.
the 8th race picks
8th
up?
race
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay,
so
I thought So you're agreeing with me? 7-6, 5-3.
Yep.
Total agreement in the top 3 there.
Yep. And like I said, I had 10 Hut. I had to rearrange a lot of picks, but I'm confident in this race today. It's a really nice race.
I think he's a great single. Again, only reason would be maybe he doesn't like the Timonium for some unforeseen circumstance. 9th race, Scratch 3, dubious intent, 8 pleasure show. On to the finale of our 9-race program for this Sunday afternoon. And I found this race to be, well, tough on paper. And somehow, without consulting, we come up with the same top 3 picks.
Very
a little
nice.
bit of a different order. You got 5-2-9. I've got 2-5-9. Sweet Steppin'. Had Jameson Spice on top for about 27 seconds. And then I went to back to the old charts. And Sweet Steppin', who was drubbed 2 back at Laurel. And Keith Fustel pointing out to me that was a negative rail day that day, November 15th at Laurel. So draw a line through that race. Draw a line through the turf race. And suddenly, Sweet Steppin's form looks a little sweeter at maybe 4-1, somewhere in that range, especially if I can get that price on him with Kevin Gomez for Dorothy Wharton. Barnes having a good meet.
I do. I have this horse. Yes, she is. She's doing really. She won 2 this meet so far. She's doing well. She's well spots these horses, puts them where they're running their best. Like I said, I throw out this turf race, like you said, getting back into form here. First off the claim, let's see, she's 10%. I mean, she doesn't have a very big barn. That's good. Like I said, she does a good job. So I'm going to expect this horse to be sharp today, and I do kind of like its post position.
For a while there, I was toying with your top pick on top there, that Jameson Spice. I mean, there's a lot of credentials for this horse. Is kind of lightly raced at the age of 6, and big gaps in his form. 2014 to 2015, and then 2017. He's had 3 races since 2014.
And
2 races since 2014.
Right,
three total.
Necessarily, I'm not sure what that could mean for him. He is lightly raced. So the horse, I think this horse is going to be sharp. Showed a lot of speed last time there at Penn, going the 5.5.
Yeah.
Again, well spotted here in this race. I think this horse, I think he's going to be the speed, honestly.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's going to come down to the 2 or the 5 trying to send out of the starting gate. Another positive point is there's been a winner out of the race. As you can see, italicized there, August 2nd. So I know a lot of gaps, and that was kind of ultimately the reason I switched the picks there and went to Sweet Step, and I thought just might be a little more fit coming into this little half-mile sprint.
Right. And you can see he ducked out at the rail here this last start for Jameson Spice. Going the 4 furlongs, you can't mess around. You have to be game there, straight shot, because you're going to
clear trip out of the gate.
You have to from the gate. Your race is always won in the gate, no matter how far you're going.
Speaking of clear trip, I think for the Proud and Free, you have him in 3rd, I got him 3rd. They're in the mix there. Well, I think I'll run a little better than last time out. We mentioned that race, the Iron Bank. Margarita Sunrise, no way they were going to beat Margarita Sunrise to the lead that day in 22 and 2 and 46. Came back after that race I think was claimed out of that race, and came back to run here at Timonium and showed speed as well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him a little bit closer, and maybe to get, if the top 2 falter, to get that in the clear 3 wide bid at the top of the stretch and find himself with a win picture.
Well, it looks like this is this horse's first time going this short of a distance, going 4 furlongs.
That's the main concern.
Yeah, so I don't know what sort of speed this horse might have, but as I said, there's only 2 really big speed horses in here that we're watching. So I would say this horse will be sharp going into it. Chase inside, angled, weakened. Doesn't have to weaken today, can just keep going the 4 furlongs. So we'll see. I do like that horse, but I don't know what he's going to do.
So a good mix of picks. I mean, we agree on a few races, almost really carbon copy, but others a little bit more wide open. And we'll have time for a little further analysis today. You'll be here as Stan is off today. You'll be back tomorrow with Gary Quill, right?
Yep, and I'm going to be up here with Frank today, Frank Vespi.
Oh, Frank, okay, all right.
So Frank and Gary will be down paddock side doing interviews and checking out the horses. So join me with Frank here in probably about 6 or 7 minutes.
Right,
we'll
after
go
we
over race 1.
Give the changes here in a few moments, and we'll turn it over to you again, Jackie. And thanks for watching the Big T today. Great job today.
Yeah, that was fun.
I just hope we can cash a few tickets.
Me too.
Okay, have a great day
Good
here
luck.
at Timonium. Thank you.
Thank you.